Right.
Mahalo for everybody joining. Okay, and then let's go on the record for the staffs.
Great. And yes, again, thank you, council members. With 8 members present, we have quorum to conduct this meeting. Also, for this record, I'm going to take the roll call of staff present from the Office on Aging, County Executive on Aging, Rowena, and Daya.
Good afternoon, everybody. And I'll announce them. So if the rest of the staff on Teams can unmute your video, that'd be great. I'd like to introduce Claudette Medeiros. She is our program specialist 1. She also handles all of our 8 healthy aging programs and the enhanced fitness program. We also have our new program specialist 2, Devin Kanhai. Devin, if you can wave to everybody. Devin is, again, our program specialist 2. Juno and Vicky from our office recently, retired, and Juno has also been doing caregiving, so he had to put some focus on his family and left our office back in October. So we welcome Devin to our team. She was one of our services specialists for about a year, and now she joins us as a program specialist. And many of you know Karen. Karen was our secretary for about a year and a half, and she recently went back to her position as an office operations assistant. So thank you to the rest of the staff for joining us. And we also have with us our Deputy Corp Counsel, Christina Toshikio. So thank you, Christina, for joining us and providing us with guidance. Okay, and congratulations, we finally made it to quorum after about a year of trying. I wanted to give you a report on membership of the board. We have, according to our rules, we have 15 members of our board. Right now, we have a number of vacancies. We have, I think, three or 4 vacancies. And there are a number of people who have been interviewed by the Independent Nomination Board. But in a recent meeting that I attended, those who went through the interview process with the Independent Nomination Board need to wait until March in order to get onto the board. What my understanding, and perhaps Christina, I don't know if you'd be able to clarify this a little bit more if you're aware of it, but I think it has something to do, my understanding is that it has something to do with the way the legislation is written. So at this point, unless somebody existing leaves the board, so say for example, Edwina, you decide that you want to resign. I think a new person can be nominated and brought onto the board, but those who were previously appointed before the establishment of the Independent Nomination Board need to wait until March. And again, it has something to do with the way the law is written. But I don't know, Christina, do you have any information about that? No.
I don't have any new information other than I know that they discussed in council that there's probably some pukas that need to be addressed, perhaps by ordinance. I don't know when that's going to happen. If we can talk offline, Rowena.
Okay.
And then,
Yeah.
Because I don't have any answers at this point.
Sure. No, thank you. Thanks, Christina.
If I can help offline, I'd be happy to.
Yeah, thank you.
Me too, because you know how many I've been on. I don't agree.
But I do appreciate, in fact, we all appreciate everybody being on this call today, because there are a lot of important things that we'd like to discuss. Okay, let's go, Chair. I'll turn it back to you.
All right. Just to remind you, before we continue, you all look like you're adhering to what I'm about to say. Please put yourself on mute. When you do come off, and if you have a question or a comment, please identify yourself for the meeting minutes. Angela's going to have to do the minutes after the meeting from recording, so speak slowly and clearly. Thank you. Is there any public testimony? Hearing none, we'll move on. Next item on the agenda is item 3, approval of the minutes for August 13th. Remember way back then, August 13th of this year. Are there any corrections to those minutes? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
I'm so moved.
Is there a second? Thank you, John. John seconded. All those in favor signify by raising your hand or saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Thank you. Okay, we don't have the Holly Maui presenter, so we'll move on to unfinished business.
Sarah, before you.
Yes, sorry.
Can I share a little bit about what that presentation?
Sure,
was supposed
sure.
to be about? So we invited Ruben Ignacio from the Halemahaolu Personal Care Program to talk about the program that he oversees over at Halemahaolu. It's called Personal Care Program. And they currently receive a grant from the county of Maui, about $170,000. And then they also received another grant from the Center for Dementia and Respite Care and from the Alzheimer's Association. And those monies are to be used to support their personal care program. What Ruben and his team of personal care assistants do is they go out into the community and they provide respite care for caregivers who have loved ones with dementia. So I invited him to come share a little bit about what they do, how they've been able to work with Maui Adult Daycare to provide care in the homes for these individuals and families. And there's also an opportunity to provide care on Molokai, Lanai, and Hana through this grant. He is looking for employees to hire. So that would have been one of his reports, is to share with you the need to hire staff on those islands, and perhaps maybe get some suggestions on how he can do outreach or find where some of these employees are so that he can get them on board. But that was the presentation that I would have wanted you to hear today. I know there's some construction work taking place at Halemahaolu. And so I will invite him for the next meeting in February to share an update on that program.
Great. Okay, thank you. Now.
Oh, and then Sherry, I know
Sorry.
we don't have any public testimony, but that's, we
I
need
will
to.
go on the record. Is there anyone here for public testimony
For that.
for that item? Hearing none. We will move on to unfinished business. Back to you for the full-year plan.
Okay, thank you, Chair, and thank you, members. So what I'm going to do right now is share my screen. I wanted to give you an update on our 4-year plan. Sorry, we're new to Teams, so I'm just trying to see where all of my information is at. Okay, there we go. So this report is going to be emailed to all of you after today's meeting, and we'll also have it up on our website as well. I wanted to share with you an update on the goals and objectives that are included in our 4-year plan. And I might just skip through some of these, but starting with the first goal, Hawaii's older adults have opportunities to live well. And one of our objectives is to support community initiatives to help older adults stay healthy, active, and socially engaged. These are our performance measures. We do provide a survey to all of our participants every year. So whenever they receive an assessment, they also receive a survey that they complete, identifying what's working, what's not working. Are you satisfied with the services that you're receiving? And if so, what is it that you enjoy? So our effectiveness measure is that 75% of them report that they have positive and meaningful lives, that they also report increased awareness of community resource programs, and that 100% of our partner agencies report satisfaction with our support and technical assistance. Right now, in talking with a lot of our participants and also going out into the community, we've noticed that people are aware of community resource programs, but there is always a need to get more information. So we've been participating in events on Lanai, such as the Festivals of Aloha, the Lanai Health Fair that happened back in August. We also helped coordinated the Abilities Resource Fair. Our target audience was persons with disabilities between the ages of 18 and 59 and older as well. We had that at the Queen Kahumanu Shopping Center back in September. We also participated in a number of walks for Maui Adult Daycare and for the Alzheimer's Association. We did some presentations before the senior clubs at MEO. And then we also hosted the Maui County Senior Fair that was held on November 2nd, 2024. We just had a discussion this morning with staff about next year's events. So we're looking forward to the Older Americans Luncheon happening in May. And then we also have tentatively scheduled our senior fair for October 25th, 2025. We're also looking at having our abilities fair take place in August. And we also talked with some of our staff on Hana, Lanai, and Molokai to ask when major events are taking place so that we can participate in them and have a presence there as well. One thing that we wanted to note is that we've been working with the Lanai public health nurses, not Lanai, I'm sorry, Molokai public health nurses and a member of our team have been coordinating, or they're working on coordinating a Molokai Kupuna Resource Fair. And we have that tentatively scheduled for April 3rd. I think that's a Thursday, April 3rd. I know it's on a Thursday, but that was the date that they wanted. So we'll be getting more information about that when perhaps at the next meeting.
Molokai
Senior Fair. Okay. Yes.
The resource fair was it always at Kahumanu Center? It was at Maui Mall.
Yeah.
Set that up.
The Abilities Resource Fair was at Kahumanu Shopping Center,
Yeah.
and then the Senior Fair was at the Maui Mall this year, and previously, last year's one was at the Maui Mall as well.
Because that's kind of tight, yeah.
It is. So, right now, we got a lot of good feedback. I don't want to spend too much time on that.
That's fine.
But we got a lot of good feedback about being there at the mall. But we do realize, we understand too, it's pretty tight. So we're always looking for a new venue with lots of parking and accessibility.
Yeah,
So
well, that was just my observation because I came down.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was pretty tight and crowded.
yeah.
Thank you.
And the date again, October
October 25th, that's a Saturday.
25.
25, 10, 25, 25.
Yeah.
Our next objective was to make sure that our health and fitness programs are available. So these are our effectiveness measurements. We have about 200 participants and 96 individuals on the wait list. Our classes are at Waiakoa Gym, the Bindia Ani, Hali'i Maile Gym, Hale Olanakila in Wailuku for persons with disabilities. And we also have it on remote. Our enhanced fitness coordinator is looking for instructors on Molokai, Lanai, and Hana, and also a location for them. So once we can find a certified fitness instructor, then we can go ahead and schedule or try to find a location for them. Claudette, you want to share a little bit more about what you're doing or how you've been progressing in trying to find, do you have any updates regarding that? I don't hear her, but I'll ask again later. Claudette
Can you hear me
has
now?
also, oh, I'm sorry, yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Okay, so, hi, everyone. So we are looking for sites and for instructors. We've got a couple of interested instructors, so we plan to do a training earlier next year between January and February. That would add a couple more instructors on for us. We do want to have instructors in that will cover West Maui's Lahaina, Hana, and the Lanai and Molokai. So right now we're just trying to we have our trainer of trainers, Paula Keel. If you're all familiar with her, she is actively searching and reaching out to the fitness network to see if there's anybody that would be interested. We do have a couple of an active enhanced fitness participants that are interested in becoming instructors. So that's what we're trying to do, recruit from within. Since they know the program and they've been very successful with the program, that's how we're trying to get our instructors right now. We have outreach to the different sources like physical therapies, gyms, some fitness and training schools. So we're just keeping, you know, it out, keeping it out there and letting them please give us a call, and so we can call them back and let them know what our program's about. And then we're trying to also expand the program by like looking for new sites in South Maui. We do know that if we get instructors on Lanai, Molokai, and in Hana, that we will have a site. So the issue with that is that we have site but no instructor. Central area, upcountry area, we have instructor but we have no site. So we're just trying to, and then we're trying to expand in the sites that we already have so that we can decrease our wait list. So because we have an extensive wait list, so we want to expand the classes there.
And it's because it's such a popular program and one that it's not just a drop-in, go and exercise and then leave, but
Yeah.
it's evidence-based, data gets tracked, your flexibility, strength, endurance is all reported, and there's always a fitness check. So,
Yes.
if we not go ahead.
And they, have you made contact with the Department of Education to use part of some of their facilities? They have facilities everywhere. That you're
We-
describing.
Yes. So one of the issues is that our program is ongoing. So we have to utilize the facilities even when the kids are like in school. So most of our classes are in the mornings or in the afternoons, and then so it's ongoing program. So it's a commitment that we have to offer the classes 3 times a week, and they have to attend 2 times a week. So I know when we have contacted the Department of Education, it was not, we were not able to get it for long term. It was always short term. So we have been able to utilize some DOE sites when our other sites are unavailable for a week or 2. So we've been allowed to do that, but nothing long term yet coming from the DOE.
Because it has to be 3 times a week.
Yeah.
And they have programs, of course, during the morning. The kids are in school during the morning and after school. The
Because they didn't
cafeteria.
have facilities that are available.
Yeah.
Adjust as long as you get the approval from the district.
So oftentimes it's a scheduling, because we tried at St. Anthony as well. But because the kids are in school or they have an after school program. Yeah. So But yeah, Claudette and the rest of her team, they're always on the lookout for new facilities. I think they have been trying to work with Haleakala and also Rosalani Place. Rosalani Place was one and Kalama Heights.
Kalama
is another.
Heights, yeah.
So that's in the works right now. But one good thing that's happening is that they created a sit down fitness program so that it would be more inclusive to older adults with disabilities. Those who just they can't stand for very long periods of time, they can be sitting down so that they can take part in the exercises and beach strengths too. So they just started that last week on last Monday.
Yes.
Yeah. And so we're really excited about that.
I can add something, please.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
On Molokai, there's a kupuna program with the Molokai Rural Health Community Association. We're with the state, and there's a physical fitness program already in place. I think there's Tai Chi, there's stretching, and I think they do like some kind of cardiovascular kind of deal. And I was wondering if that would be a good place to do this program, because they already have sites, they already have instructors. I don't know, what do you guys think?
I think that's a fabulous idea. I think that is actually where we were going to, if we were to hold a class, I think that's where, in the past, that's where we discussed holding the classes, would be there, or, and I do believe there was another location, but it's the issue that we have is an instructor. So it's too costly for our program to have an instructor go to Molokai 3 times a week for a 1-hour class. So if we could have the instructor located on island, then that would be best. On Lanai, we had a great spot. Unfortunately for us, our instructor on island retired. So we were sending over an instructor from Maui 3 times a week, and that became a little bit too costly for us. But we were willing to do it because our participants wanted it. But what's happened on Molokai was that we didn't have an instructor on island. So we had a potential instructor, and that's why we were going to start, and then pandemic hit, so we couldn't pursue that. And by the time we were going to open up again, our instructor had decided against teaching, and I believe that she no longer lives on the island. So when she retires back to Molokai, we told her that we want her to let us know, so we can try and get her back to the program. But for the time being, we are trying to actively search for someone on island.
Okay. And maybe getting in touch with Kule at Molokai Rural Health. Yeah, we can do that. But thank you, Auntie Chloe, for that suggestion.
Thank you.
You guys have her contact already? You folks already have Kule's contact?
Yes, yeah, we
Okay.
do.
Okay, good,
Yeah.
good.
No, that's a great suggestion. I think Council Member Tomoso had his hand raised.
Yeah, Claudette, you said South Maui, you're looking for a site?
Yes.
Site.
Yes.
So, several South Maui churches have parish halls.
Yes.
So, if you need, okay, you're ready. Okay.
Well,
Like,
if you have one
It does.
in mind, if you have one in mind in particular, we have reached
Well-
out to several churches there. However, it's because they have their own programming going on. We can't utilize it, or some of the facility is not conducive to what we need. So, but if there's a church that you want to recommend, I will happily contact them and visit.
Are you in touch with St. Teresa's? They have huge facilities.
Yes, they do.
Yes. They're one that we're constantly trying to have us be there, but because they have their own programming programs, it kind of, we have to fit into their schedule, and it has to be 3 times a week, and it has to be in the same time. 3
Okay,
times
how
a
about
week.
Kihei Lutheran has facilities? Kihei Lutheran, I can put you in touch with the pastor there.
Okay, that would be wonderful. Thank you.
I'll send you an email, Claudette.
Okay, thank you.
Well, thank you. Yeah, thanks for that suggestion. Oftentimes the issue is trying to fit in their schedule because they want to have us there, but because they have other meetings or other programs that are taking place, they can't commit to the 3 times a week. So that makes it challenging.
Did I notice somebody just joined us?
Let me just check the, I think, let's see, Beltrine, not Beltrine, Nara, but no, I think we're good.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, Councilmember Kalani Okio-Cook had to, I think she exited.
Oh, got it.
It could.
Sorry.
So, yeah, I'm just gonna go through this for, objective 1.3, promote a comprehensive pulse program. That's one of our objectives as part of our 4-year plan. So all our seniors who are in our program, if they're receiving services through MCOA, will receive a falls risk screening when they conduct their initial and annual assessments. And for those who are identified as at risk, there are referrals made to Naho Aloha for the Friendly Visiting and Telephone Reassurance Program. And through Naho Aloha, they also have a in-home evaluation that they conduct for those seniors who are at a fall risk. We also make referrals to Habitat for Humanity, who can assist with in-home modifications. We have a grant with them in the amount of $250,000 so that they can do small repairs in the homes, like establish or put in grab bars, make renovations to the bathroom. There have been instances where they took out the tub and they replaced it with a shower, so that it's no step shower or maybe just a small dip. And there have also been other projects where they fixed the walls, have redone the floors so that the seniors don't have a tripping hazard. But Habitat for Humanity, we are in partnership with them, and they service all the islands, Molokai and Lanai included. In fact, I think they've already completed a number of renovations there on Molokai. And I don't know about Lanai. I think there was one referral, but because there's specific requirements, like you have to own the home and have to be a certain income, some of the participants don't qualify, but they have been able to go out to all of our districts and make repairs. So that's a really good program. If the participant is eligible, there have been a number of success stories because of that service. Hopefully we can get Habitat for Humanity to come and share some of the work that they've done in the community. We actually had them last year for a presentation, but because we didn't have quorum. Yeah. So, but that's how we're trying to meet that goal by making those referrals to Habitat for Humanity. There's also other programs, other grant and loan programs through, U.S. Department of Agriculture for the rural areas. So when a senior does have a need, we also make that referral to if we know what their situation is and think that they can qualify for that USDA loan. The increased opportunities for purpose and fulfillment by addressing isolation and loneliness. All of our participants who are assessed and who have identified or say that they have feelings of loneliness and isolation will be offered the opportunity to have a corresponding support plan goal. So it could mean that, we connect them to agencies such as Naho Aloha for that telephone reassurance and friendly visiting program, or connect them with congregate services, adult daycare, and for some, having the Meals on Wheels delivery is also a way for them to connect with those outside, at least somebody who can go and do wellness checks on them. So those are ways that we can address isolation and loneliness with our participants, and even in the community too. So connecting them with existing services that offer that social connection. And of course, again, like I mentioned earlier, I'll send all of this to you so that you can read this. Councilmember Tomoso reminded me the other day about elder abuse and financial exploitation. So one of our objectives is to educate older adults and the community at large on abuse, neglect, and exploitation. So we have been doing presentations with some of the NVO senior clubs. We did one with PNCC a few months ago. Back in May, we also had a training, or actually, yeah, a training back in May with the Police Department and Prosecutor's Office on a elder abuse tool developed by University of Southern California. We also had some of our staff, 5 out of 14 staff members participated in adult protective services training back in September. The Executive Office on Aging through the Department of Health had also created public service announcements aired on KHON. And in the handout that I'm going to send to you, there's a link to all of the videos in there as well. But what we also want to do is create our own campaign and work with the police department and prosecutor's office and using our communications office to send out social media and just small press releases reminding seniors about the holiday season and how this time of the year, a lot of people are, at risk for those targeted exploitation, fraud, because it's the holiday season. It's at the end of the year. People are saying, "Can you donate to me? Here's an opportunity. Click on this." So we want to share to the members of the community that just to be wary of these announcements. So that
MPD has had a number of big initiatives. I mean, I've got several patches that talk about anyway a number of their initiatives. Working closely with them, I think, is a really good field.
And we also, part of our one of the ways we wanted to address this objective is to continue our partnership with NPD and the prosecutor's office and have at least, every other month meet with them to discuss cases and make sure that those cases don't fall through the cracks. I know there's been some staffing issues at both agencies, including ours. So that kind of put a hold on some of our meetings, but with the new year ahead, we're looking to regroup and get together to make sure that we're all connected and that we have, a good program where we can educate, do outreach, and follow up on some of these cases. In your
Rowena.
handout, yes.
Real quick,
Go ahead.
I'm not into Instagram and all that stuff because I don't have time, but my mo'opuna, kind of turned me on to those reels. They're short, but I think that would be a great way to get word out about elderly abuse and scams and blah blah blah. Not necessarily for kupuna, which I feel even if you train the kupuna, they still gonna be victimized. So we need to grab their ohana, the kids and the caregivers.
Be a good idea.
And I think that's why the Instagram, that's where the younger kids hang out. And if we had like little reels, a small kind of information, if somebody call, ask for your grandma's social security, make sure give them or stuff like that, because I think caregivers are the ones that go in malama the tutu. Tutu is gone with the wind. So how, even if you were to have workshops for kupuna, I've seen it, they get all this information, but they still are victims. So gotta grab the ohana, I think.
Okay.
Karen,
Oh, that's
if
a
I-
great idea. In fact, I like what you just said, Malama the Tutu. That could be a campaign too.
Yes.
And some of those videos that Executive Office on Aging created, we could probably
Rowena?
make that. Yes.
Sorry, I'm gonna interrupt. This is Christina. Just jumping in. Did we lose a member from the meeting?
Let's see. Let's do a count. Can you do roll call one more time, Angela? So Angela's gonna do a roll call. If you could stay here.
Chair Ed Ronson, Vice Chair John Tomoso,
Here.
Councilmember Chase Trumphagen,
Here.
Councilmember Deldrine Manera,
Here.
Councilmember Edwina Wilson Snyder,
Here.
Councilmember Helen Tamura,
Here. Can you see me?
Councilmember
Yes,
Tam-
yes.
Anna Kaho'o Hano,
Hello, here.
Councilmember
Valerie Colenio Pio Cook. But she's here. Yeah, so we have 8. Yeah, she's here. Is she, it shows up as Mapuana.
Okay, perfect, perfect. Okay, because I know that we might be losing member Tomoso in a bit if he has to leave. So at
Okay.
that point in time, you can continue with your presentation because the meeting will at that point technically be canceled for lack of quorum. You
Okay,
can continue with your presentation, but at that point they can ask you questions, but not to deliberate or, provide input, but they can certainly ask you questions on your presentation.
okay, all right, sounds good. I'm gonna go on to this next, I think. Can you, let's see, can you let me know if the presentation is still on the screen? Am I still sharing the screen? Yes, okay. So the next one is Hawaii's older adults are prepared for future threats. Educating our seniors and persons with disabilities and having them come up with a personalized disaster plan. All of our participants, whenever they get assessed, our staff will work with them in creating a personalized disaster preparedness plan, identifying what their needs are in an emergency, where they go, who their emergency contacts are. Another goal or objective that we have here is also to support initiatives aimed at increasing COVID-19 and influenza vaccination rates. Unfortunately, we don't have any updates at this time, but we are going to be working with the public health nurses to ensure that we can get a baseline number, and then also do outreach regarding vaccination information.
It is flu season.
Yes. And so I got mine, my husband got mine, my daughter, my son, and who gets it? My son.
No,
It's the only one. So,
Would you work also with like loans?
yes,
The, the
the pharmacy.
yes.
Yes, and Maviola Pharmacy is also another partner.
they keep good records.
Yeah, and I think they also do in-home
Yes.
vaccinations too. One of our other goals is to make sure that seniors have, our participants through the Meals on Wheels program have a minimum 5-day supply of emergency food rations. So we recently did a procurement for 15,000 meals ready to eat. That way they can get deployed during an emergency event to all of our seniors, our participants. And also, making sure that our agency partners, all of our service providers, we conduct an annual emergency preparedness exercise where we run a scenario and identify, kind of identify a scenario like a tsunami, and then go around the world and ask, okay, how do we prepare ourselves? What are you guys going to do? What do we do? How do we work together? So that's something that we need to work on.
And you do it with other agencies.
Yeah, in fact, MEMA, Emergency Management, they do that every year. It's called Makani Pavili. So they'll work with other departments and bring everybody together in a room and then have a scenario. The one that I participated in was I think there was an accident on Pilani Highway. Meanwhile, there was a tsunami coming in. And so how do we troubleshoot that?
Yeah.
So those are the kinds of, good. Yeah, the scenario. So running a scenario and finding out what our capabilities and vulnerabilities are, and that's something that.
But it's good, it's procedures.
Yeah. Okay. And then making sure that our underserved populations have equitable access to programs and services. That means making sure that we invest in training for our staff. We have staff doing a community resource specialist aging and disabilities certification. So all of our line staff that do the phone intakes, that conduct the in-home assessments, they are certified through an agency called Inform USA, where they learn about how to do intakes on the phone, how to identify signs, crisis situations. Our staff will also be receiving a training from the American Red Cross in psychological first aid in 2025. So that was something Claudette had been able to reach out to first aid to. So that psychological, yeah, the Red Cross. They did one a few months ago with some of the county employees, and we reached out to to see if we could get a presentation as well. In February, we'll be able to share information about that training.
Does this include language capabilities with the staff? In other words,
Yeah.
we service multiple languages in the county.
Yes.
You may not have Tagalog on staff, but there are ways to get an interpreter online.
Yes, yeah.
So,
And that's part of our report too.
okay.
So we actually, whenever somebody calls our office or when we conduct an assessment, one of the things that we ask is if they need language assistance. So we'll record that. We have data that shows the number of people who have requested language access. And so far, it's been, a lot of people have been asking for Ilocano. Yeah.
And not Spanish, Russians.
Yeah, it might be cultural. So, yeah, that's another thing.
That's a huge group coming in.
Yeah. And again, like what you mentioned, Ed, increased access to relevant ADRC information and assistance for individuals for whom English is not the primary language. Yeah. So language assistance is available through translators who are contracted by MCOA. Another population that is also starting to come up is American Sign Language and the need for interpreters who are knowledgeable in ASL. Right now, there's a shortage of ASL interpreters on the island, so it's really challenging to find something.
There's a shortage of healthcare workers.
All over, yeah. Okay, and then another objective that we don't have an update at this time for is promoting awareness of culturally appropriate long-term services and supports. So we'll need to work on that in the year ahead.
Working with Maui Hospice.
Yeah, that's one of the agencies. Yeah.
As attorneys,
No, I haven't thought about that one. Attorneys, legal aid, yeah. Yeah, legal aid. So we have a partnership with legal aid. They're one of our service providers. But in terms of, but for culturally supportive, yeah, so we'll,
there's some young attorneys who.
okay, yeah, no, it sounds good. Another one is Hawaii's older adults and people with disabilities will age in place. We talked about the home modification program through Habitat for Humanity. Another one is being engaged with our, with Office of Recovery, Planning Department, Transportation to support improvements in the community for to make transportation more accessible and also to make our communities more age friendly. We're looking at right now a possible transportation pilot project for Lahaina. So it involves on-demand rideshare like Uber and Lyft. But that would be a pilot project and the funding it comes from the federal ACL through the Older Americans Act. I just had a meeting with Faye Gordon, Region 9 administrator. So we have emergency funding as a result of the Lahaina and Apache wildfires, and transportation is an area that we can use the funds for. So we're looking into seeing how Oahu is implementing their program and how maybe we could do that for a small pilot on the west side. Let's see, I'm gonna skip through some of these items and Caregiving is another big issue. We have a quarterly assessment evaluation that we take data on. Our goal is to make sure that those who are assessed, 80% of them demonstrate a reduction of stress, as indicated by their annual assessment. Right now, we're at 40%, saying that they show lower, reduced amounts of stress. So that's definitely an area we try to find out, okay, well, what kind of support do you need? Is it more respite? Is it training? And it's all, a lot of different things. Caregiving counseling. We offer that through Maui Adult Daycare. Maui Adult Daycare also provides in-home respite, holding workshops on caregiving. Those are things that we're trying to introduce in the year ahead. And expanding MCOA's intergenerational programs and efforts. We acknowledge that there are intergenerational families in one household. And so how can the entire family be a part of caregiving or giving them that support and education? Not sure. Uh-oh. Did we just lose everybody?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Everyone's there.
Huh?
Our monitors.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry, everyone, our monitor just went out. So. But in your packet, Angela's gonna send it out earlier. There's some data that we've been collecting. The number of calls that we receive from individuals who want information about abuse, elder abuse and fraud. We saw a little bit of increase in October and maybe just one call in November. We have a falls risk report, a home modification report, the number of referrals that we make out to Habitat for Humanity, social isolation, interpreter, how many people have indicated that they need interpretation services. We also we've been tracking the number of months that a person stays at home from the time that they were identified as being at risk for institutionalization. So this is the amount of time, the average amount of time that people are at home after, being assessed for service, showing that, yeah, you could go into long-term care facilities, but with added support at home, we're showing that they've been able to stay out of long-term care facilities for an average of 36 months. So it's like 2 years, yeah. Number of transportation participants is included, number of in-home respite participants. This, I need a little bit more clarification on this number, but that's another piece of data that we track. And then I also have, as part of the 4-year plan, report about our vacancies, any compliments or complaints that we receive, what our data looks like, healthy aging program that Claudette talked about earlier, Molokai and Lanai updates, and all of our November outreach events. And then I have in here too, just a little bit of information about our the meeting that we recently had with Maui Adult Daycare, and members of the federal team at Administration for Community Living regarding a temporary location for the West Maui daycare facility. Right now, daycare in West Maui is needed. They're busing participants from Lahaina to Kahului almost every day, and that's about 2 hours. 1 hour going there, 1 hour coming back. But they, the participants, the families need that support, and the participants also would benefit from the socialization. So, but with that, Chair, that's the update on our 4-year plan. Another update that I have is that the Executive Office on Aging did take a look at the report, and I think everybody got a copy of it through email earlier. if you need a physical report, please reach out to Angela and she can print it out and have it sent to you. But what we need to do is, Executive Office on Aging has already reviewed this and have given their approval. We need to verify that, this council had an opportunity to review and comment on the area plan on aging. So there were several meetings that we've had in the past, starting from last year, and where we've talked about the plan. Members of the Council on Aging were able to provide input, and now we're at the point where we can maybe have this signed. So I think, if we can get consensus that we had the opportunity to review the plan, then our chair can go ahead and sign off on it. And then from there, Lori Suhako, our director, will sign, and then Mayor Bisson will also sign. We'll need to sign this as well.
Okay, so,
And then Chair, I'm gonna stop sharing the screen.
right.
Yeah.
So I think the best way forward is to get a sense of the council on the way forward. And I'm not sure if it's appropriate for me to make the motion, but I'll make it. And I move that the council approve the report and authorize the chairman to sign the report and move it forward. Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion?
Chair. Sorry,
Yes,
it's
go
Christina
ahead.
again.
I kind
don't
of figured you'd chime in, but go ahead.
Yes, because it looks like Mapuana is no longer in the meeting. I don't know at what point she dropped out, but
So we don't have quorum.
so you don't have quorum to make this decision.
Okay,
Now, at the next meeting, if you have quorum and you do a report, then you can deliberate and discuss and take your vote then.
all right, let me
But-
propose this. Can we approve the motion via email?
Yes.
No.
No.
No, unfortunately not. Yeah.
Okay,
All of your deliberations and decision-making has to be done
public.
in an open forum, correct?
I understand. Okay.
Do we know where she went or if she's just having some technical issues? Because we could take a short recess and then reconvene when she's back and then take the vote
I
at that
think we're
point in time.
running up against other people having to leave.
Yeah, she
John?
Mapuana had to leave.
Okay.
Okay, and John, did you have a question?
No, I have to leave, but
Okay,
But
Okay.
Chair, I think,
go ahead.
it doesn't require a vote. I mean, it'd be nice if we could get a vote, just to acknowledge, but when I spoke with the Executive Office on Aging, they had said, did your council have an opportunity to review? And we've had it reviewed.
That's official.
Yeah, so at this point, I just wanted to kind of just share this information, and then we'll need your signature on the report, or not the 4-year plan, and then we can move it forward. But I did want to also share with the members that if you do have any further comments or want to share information with me as we're collecting data, preparing updates, or preparing reports, that please share them with me so that I can include that as part of this 4-year plan as well. I know Mapuana, Councilmember Kalaniopio Cook and Councilmember Manera, they've been offering many suggestions over the past few months when Juno was here. So we wanted to include those as part of our report, but I wanted to also extend it to everybody to say that, it does that, just because this is in hard copy format, doesn't mean that this is it. So
Okay.
there's always going to be something that we can include or consider as part of our program. And today, this discussion that we had today was really good because you guys gave your your council provided a lot of feedback and suggestions on what we can take to move these goals and objectives forward. So thank you very much.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, without quorum, I guess the only thing we can do is I'll make the announcement that our next meeting date is officially scheduled for 11 February of next year. And then I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Oh, you don't need a motion.
Oh, I guess we're done.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, but you made it. You got it in.
Thank you so much, everyone. Happy holidays.
Mr. Thorne, could you
Thank
stay online
you.
for a second?
Toshikio.
Rowena,
Or.
Rowena, can I have
Council.
your phone number?
Oh, I'm sorry, Auntie Helen.
Can I have your phone number?
Oh, yes, it's 808-270-7272. I'll be in my office in about 15 minutes if you need to
Okay.
talk. Yeah.
Yeah, I need to. All right.
Thank you. Oh, and then did you
The
want
11th.
Christina?
Yeah,
are you
Chris.
able to-
Could you stay online?
I can stay online for a
Yeah.
few minutes.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah, just a few minutes. I have a procedural question. Get it?
Christina, I don't know how this works with Teams, but the meeting
Oh.
is adjourned, right?
Can
Yeah,
I,
it's a
can
turn.
I
I
give
just
you
had a
my,
procedural question.
okay, because I can
Yeah.
also give you my phone number up here.
Okay,
and
why don't
you
we
can
call
me.
you and then, yeah,
Okay, let's do that.
okay. What's your extension?
7578.
7578. We're gonna give you a call right now.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.